Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full face of Drugstore. So if you wanted to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. Also, these are like the best of the best, like top tier Drugstore. Like sometimes I pick these products over my really high-end products. So if you want to see how to get this look, keep watching. Okay, so I've got all my skincare on. I just primed the lids just with the soft ochre paint pot from MAC. And I don't know which I want to use because this is for shine. This is gonna obviously make my foundation last. I usually use my Hourglass primer, so I can't say that I've used these a whole lot, but I don't know. Maybe I'll use, I'll go with this one because I've only used this one like one time. So I'll try that out, see if it's going to diminish the shine that's currently on my face. Never know how much to use with these. So it does smell a little alcohol-y, but anyway. So how was everybody's weekend? I know it's Monday and I usually upload Sundays, but I was away at my parents' place this weekend again. That's what we do when they go to the cabin. We go there because it's just easier to be in a house, and our dog's been getting up really early in the mornings to go to the bathroom, so it's just so much easier to just be there and let her outside, like in the yard, because we live in a condo, so we have to go down every time. But okay, so there is the primer. L'Oreal generally does like really good face products, like foundation especially. I'm not sure what I want to go in with. Oh, it's right here. I don't know. I kind of want to use this one just because I don't use it very much, but I love the way this looks on the skin. Like, this is an oily girl's best friend. This one is 180 Sand Beige, the Revlon Color Stay. This is not the new one, but I've heard it's very similar to the new one. Yeah, for combination oily, there is SPF 15 in there, but I would suggest also using an SPF. Or the L'Oreal True Match, and this is W2, which is Warm Light. This is the Super Blendable Foundation. So this is newer. I still haven't seen this in Canada. Like, why are we so slow? This is why I can't really do like testing new drugstore products, because I feel like everybody in the US just gets to it before I can review anything. So I'm gonna go in with the Color Stay. So it does have a little bit of movement, like it's kind of more like a gel type texture though. But this has, it does look a little dark. It is a little bit dark for me, but especially in the summer, it does match, so I don't care. I did buy the one shade lighter than this one, and I found it to be just like a tiny bit too light, so I'd almost need to like mix the two shades, but it's good enough. Once I have my my concealer on and everything, I just think that it looks so good on the skin. It does definitely help to minimize the look of pores. Has kind of like a powdery type texture on the skin, which obviously I'm assuming they do for people with oily skin. So that's what it's looking like. I'm gonna finish my whole face. Sometimes I've been finding my videos are just way too long lately, so I'm gonna finish the rest of my face and I'll come back and do my concealer. Okay, so face is done. It's weird, I do kind of still have a sheen, but what I like to do, and I think I've shown you this before, is just kind of tap in all of that foundation and just really make sure it's meshing into the skin. I wasn't sure what concealer to use because Oh, I forgot to mention I'm using a fresh Sonia Kashuk, sponge, and these are just so good. This is my absolute favorite sponge, and you can get this at the drugstore, at Target, if you live in the US. If you don't, I believe you can get them on Amazon. I paid an arm and a leg on Amazon though, so if you make a little trip to the US, get them there because they're like $10, and I think I paid like $30 for two. So don't do that. Yeah, I was having a hard time deciding what concealer to use because I generally only use this from the drugstore, and then I use my Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like nothing's been working for me lately. Like I don't know, the older I get, the creepier my eyes are looking, obviously, but I'm just not enjoying anything. So I think what I'm going to do is use a little bit of this Maybelline. Sorry, I'm just pouring some powder. I'm going to use my peach powder for under the eye because I don't have anything that I use under the eye besides, like, I don't know, higher end. I used to use this e.l.f. and I still have some, but I don't really want to use it because you can't get it anymore. It was like an e.l.f. under eye setting powder, and it was so good. Like so good. I actually need to pull it out again because I haven't used it in a while, but it's amazing. And I don't know why they would get rid of it. Like bring back a good one, or, you know, a better one at least. So, you know. But yeah, for concealer, I guess I might use, I don't know, either this one or this one. People are obsessed with these. This is kind of pretty old, but I might try it anyways. It's the Hydrating Camo Concealer, and it's in the shade Fair Warm. And I also have the Bare With Me Concealer Serum, and this is in the shade Fair. I haven't used this in a long time. Maybe I'll use this. No, I'm going to use this. I like the consistency of this one better. And I'm finding the ones that are a little bit more hydrating are working better for me. So it used to be the matte ones that I would wear all the time, but like I said, I'm getting older and these eyes aren't getting any younger. So I'm just using this to brighten up the under eye. And I always go in with my fingers with this one. And then I'll go in with the e.l.f. I like to do one eye at a time usually. I hope this is not gonna like do anything weird to my under eye because I haven't used it in a long time. Pray for my under eyes. I can use, maybe I'll use the e.l.f. Camo sponge, but usually I will use my Sonia Kashuk sponge for everything. And like I said in my last video, I'm really bad at like setting my under eye. I can't like get right in there and actually set it. Like, I feel like I used to be better at this, and now I just cannot. Yeah, no, it's looking creepier and creepier. Okay, I'm switching sponges because it's not working for me. Like my under eye looks 700 years old. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a little Amazon sponge. It's not a new one, so I'm sorry it looks a little dirty. Just with that peach powder. I will use a drugstore powder on my face, a pressed powder. I still haven't tried the Maybelline Fitme pressed powder. Everyone talks about how amazing it is. I do want to try it. And also I just noticed the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder just came out in a mini. Don't go crazy because I still want to get it, so Don't go selling it out now. But I feel it will be sold out very quickly, so I feel like if I want it, I should just get it. Okay. So that's the under eye. Not my favorite, but it'll do. So did everyone watch the finale of Vanderpump? Oh my god. It's pretty juicy. But honestly, I feel like Ariana's just handling herself like a boss. I would be like not so nice to him. Okay, so yeah, this is just not my favorite concealer. If anybody has a good drugstore concealer that they could recommend, let me know. I did hear the Flower Beauty one was really, really nice, but I haven't tried it yet. Sorry, I just finished my second eye because I had a visitor walk in. But yeah, I heard the Flower Beauty one is really good, so maybe I'll try that. But yeah, these just it's making my under eyes look crepey. Not a fan. But apparently a lot of people love these and they say it's just as good as just as good as high end. So don't go off my under eyes. Mine are just very finicky. So I do think they are really good concealers. It's just I just have issues. So I'm gonna go in with a couple powders that I really, really like. This is the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Finishing Powder, and I do think that this is just as good as a high-end powder. I'm gonna go in with maybe just a little mini powder brush. That's it. 201 from Real Techniques. This looks like this. Normally I would go in with a puff, but sometimes I like just using a brush, like if I don't want as much coverage. This one is a little too dark for me too, so I don't want to go in too crazily with this. And I'll show you two other powders that I love from the drugstore that I used to use all the time, exclusively, like until I started, you know, using the Dior. I think that's when I switched to like higher end powders, is when I started using the Dior powder. But honestly, I feel like this one is just as good. And for my nose, because this is a mattifying powder, Fitme, just, it's so good. It's always been really, really good. I have the shade 120 Classic Ivory, just going over the nose with this. I do find the No. 7 is more of like a creamy kind of powder, where it almost doesn't really even look like powder on the skin. This one is a tiny bit more powdery, but I like it for the areas that I get really oily. So basically my T-zone. See, so that just mattified everything there. Good. And another one that I used to absolutely love, and I still do, I just need to pull it out and use it more, is the CoverGirl True Blend powder, and this is in the shade Translucent Fair. So that's what it looks like. Yeah, those powders are just top notch. I'm going to use a cream bronzer before I use a powder. And I haven't used this one in a while. I do find the top of it gets a little bit stiff, so you kind of have to like play with the top a little bit to get it like going again. So this is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and I have the shade Tan Lines. So I'm just going to kind of like break that seal and then go in with my I haven't used a cream bronzer in a while. I've been using the new NARS bronzer in Laguna 00, and I really like it. I'll probably use it in a video. I don't think I've used it yet on camera. Have I? Let me know if I have. I don't think I have. I was talking about it, and I actually have a mini of the, I think it was 02, and that one worked for me, but this one just works much better. Sorry, I'm looking for my brush. Be right back. Sorry, I found it. It's the It Cosmetics All Over Brush. Sorry, it's called All Over and Precision Brush. Looks like this. I always use cream products with this one. You could get one from e.l.f. that looks identical to these ones. So if you're in the market for one of these, I would say definitely try the e.l.f. ones. Like if you don't want to spend, because these are kind of expensive now. I think I bought this in the States last year. I think last summer. And it was quite expensive. Even in the US, like usually obviously everything's cheaper there, but with the exchange it's not. But yeah, I was like, what the heck? I think it was like 40 bucks at least. I mean, you do get 2 brushes in one, but I don't know. Still pretty expensive. And the e.l.f. one I think is like, I don't know, $10. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason I feel like I can't get it to like stick on my brush. Like, I don't know. It's like there's pigment coming off of the brush, but when I use my NARS one, it's just super creamy and I can easily get in it. This one feels just harder to, maybe because it's smaller too. Like the NARS one is obviously like a bigger, thicker container. But this one is actually really good. I probably should use this one. The Soul, what's it called? Soul Light Face and Body Bronzing Balm. This one is really good and it smells good too. I mean, it has kind of like a coconutty smell. It is very warm though, as you can see. But I was using that one for quite a while and I really, really liked it. So there are some good ones at the drugstore, so don't give up if you're looking for one. There's also this. This is more of like a contour, and I do use that to contour. But I think there's more like a bronzy shade. I have the one in, I think it's Fair. Everything is fair. Yep. Such a ghost. But anyway, so I'll stop there and I'll go in with my powder bronzer, which is I have 2 that I really love from the drugstore, and these definitely rival high end. I was using this one forever. This is the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer in the shade Light 250. And I also love the primer infused bronzer by e.l.f. It's so good and such a really nice shade. Such a nice shade. First I'm gonna go back in with my powder brush and just kind of diffuse any harsh lines. And I'll go in with the powder brush, bronzer brush. You can tell I love it because I've definitely hit pan a long time ago. But yeah, this is one of my faves. It's just so smoothing on the skin. I love the shade. And there are so many shades to choose from, which is nice. You definitely don't see that at the drugstore very often. It's basically like, here are 2 shades of bronzer. Like the e.l.f. one, I think there's only 1. And obviously that's not gonna work for everybody. I remember when I was working at Shoppers, I would feel so embarrassed if people would come in and they were looking for a foundation and they were literally darker than, I don't know, a piece of paper, and we wouldn't have shades for them, especially since I worked in the beauty boutique. So we had high-end, it's basically like Ulta, if you've never heard of Shoppers, if you're not from Canada. It's basically like Ulta, like we have high-end mixed with drugstore. And yeah, it would be so embarrassing when you're trying to shade match somebody and you're like, oh, they only have 4 colors for super pale people. It was embarrassing. Like, I felt so bad. I'm like, ugh, this must be so annoying. I mean, I'm sure it's really annoying for people who are super, super fair too. I'm probably looking pretty ridiculously bronzed right now, but that's okay. It's summer, almost. So that's what we're looking like. I am going to just blend that out a bit. But I find once you get the blush and everything on, it looks better. So, top blushes at the drugstore. This is so good. This is the e.l.f. Putty Blush, and it's in the shade Bora Bora. Definitely can compete with like my One Size blush. And this one is also stunning. This is the Flower Beauty blush in the shade Wild Rose. So pretty. But I think I'm going to use the newer one from Essence. This is the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush, and it's in the shade Pink Flush. So I think we're going to go with these two today. I'm trying to give you, like, you know, different options. Powder, cream. That's pretty much it. Again, my brushes are kind of a mess because I was away. But, okay, we're going to go with Bora Bora, and this is the e.l.f. Putty Blush brush. So these two go together, and I love this brush. I use it for so many different blushes that I have, cream blushes. I also just bought a new one from Sephora. It's so nice. I don't know if I showed this one. It's the Pro Foundation brush, number 64, and I like using this with the Charlotte Tilbury blush because that one can be kind of tricky to maneuver. I feel like when you put it in a spot, you have to be super, super fast to blend it out. But with these ones, they're so creamy, you don't have to worry about that. You definitely have a lot of playtime with this, and I don't find this to be as rigid as the bronzer. Like, I feel like the blushes are a lot easier to work with. I don't know, maybe I just got an older one or something, but I have heard people talk about that before, so I don't know. Another one that I just got is this one. This shade has been sold out for so long. I finally found it at the drugstore. You can kind of see more what it looks like there. This is the shade Maui, I think. Yes. Oh my god, the writing is so small. This one's also really nice. This will be super pretty in the summer. It's a little bit crazy, but it's nice. This is Isla del Sol. Very pretty. Okay, so I think we'll stop there because I'm also going in with the powder. As I keep going. So every time I put something on my face, I always kind of go back in with that powder brush just to kind of blend things around. Again, I'm sorry if I'm touching my hair all the time. I just got it done and it's like, I don't know how I feel about it. So there's that. Can you tell me what you would do in this situation? So I went to go get my hair done, and It's not cheap, okay? I said to her, I really, really loved the way she did it last time. So I said to her, can you just do exactly what you did last time? Thinking like they probably write them down, right? Like, I don't know. That's just me. I had hairdressers in the past that would write down what they were doing. So whatever. So she did my hair and I noticed the next day. So it was like not cheap, 340 bucks or something, with that's including the tip. But I think it's worth it when you have a really good hairstylist, and I loved the way she did it last time. So I'm like, it's worth it to me. This is Pink Flush, by the way. So I get home, and the next day I was kind of looking at it in, I know bathroom lighting obviously isn't the best lighting. It obviously makes everything look darker than it is, but and my hair looks super bright right now because I'm in the sunlight. But one thing I noticed is I usually get, you can kind of see it now, I usually get like money pieces. So it all just looks really light right now, so you can't really tell. But I didn't mention it because I just said do what you did last time, and she did them last time. Because I like when my roots grow out, like for some reason these pieces are kind of slower to grow out. So it doesn't look as bad. But yeah, so I noticed those weren't done. So I said, hey, I'm like, should I have even said anything? I don't know. But I thought, you know what? I'm always the kind of person who's like, I just won't say anything. I'll just like do whatever, do nothing. And then like people get away with stuff. So I'm like, not that she was like trying to get away with anything, but she obviously like didn't write down what she had done last time. Okay. So I was like, hey, I noticed like I didn't have any money pieces in the front. Just wondering, is it just because there's toner in my hair that it looks darker? Or, and she's like, oh no, sorry, that's totally my fault. I didn't even realize we did them last time. And then she just said, I can definitely do them for you. And I was like, okay, because anytime I've ever had a problem with my hair and I've said something about it, usually I wouldn't, but anytime I have and I've said something, they're like, oh, no problem. Like, yeah, come in and I'll fix it, whatever. And they do it for free if they are the ones that messed up. If I didn't say anything, then okay, it's my fault. But I did say, do it like you did last time. She did it last time. So I didn't think I had to say it, but lesson learned. So then I said, oh, just wondering like what the charge would be for that, thinking she'd be like, oh, don't worry about it, my mistake. But nope, she said, oh, probably around 50 to 75, and I can't get you in until June 14th. So that was like a month later, and I'm like, it's just 2 pieces of hair. You can't get in, like, and I know she's busy, okay, I get it. But if like you make a mistake, like listen, I used to be an esthetician, and if I would screw up somebody's nail and they would come back, I would fix it for free, obviously. So I don't know, what would you do in this situation? So I just said, okay, you know what, never mind, it's fine. Like, I don't really have it in the budget because I mean, I spent 340 bucks already, which might not seem like a lot to some people. Like I said, it is worth it when you find somebody who's really, really good. And I do think she is really good at what she does. So I'm gonna go in with this same brush. Yeah, so what would you do? Would you have said something? Would you not say anything? I don't know. I kind of feel bad for saying something, but then, oh, and then this happened too. So when I went to go pay, she's like, oh, by the way, my prices went up. And I'm like, okay. But like, what do you say when you're already about to pay? You're obviously going to be like, no, nope. Like, what are you gonna say? Obviously, you're like, okay. But do you not feel that should be disclosed before you go? Like, when you make the appointment? So when she mentioned that it was going to be 50 to 75, I just said, okay, you know what? That's fine. I'll just leave it as is, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, well, I could do it for 50. And I'm like, well, you already told me 50 to 75. So it's like, it's not really a difference, you know, between 50 to 75 is kind of like whatever. So I was like, oh, it's all good. Like, whatever. And plus I was going to have to wait a month. And I'm just like, it just took so long that I'm just like, I just don't want to even deal with this anymore. Like, I have property taxes coming up. Like, there's always something, you know, as an adult, there's always something to pay for. I've got to do my dog's teeth. And yeah, so I'm just going to leave it because, like, it is, like I said, it's pretty light anyways. So it doesn't really matter. But it was just the principle. So, like, would you say something? So I did kind of say, I said, oh, sorry, yeah, I just didn't realize there was going to be, you know, a charge. And I'm like, I feel like maybe, like, I was saying it in a super nice way. I can't remember the exact way I said it, but I was just like, can you let me know next time if there's, I think I said it, I said, I understand in the economy right now, like, everything is going up, and that makes sense that your prices would go up. Can you maybe just disclose it to me next time before I go in, just so I have an idea of how much I'm paying, right? I don't think that was like a terrible thing to say, but I feel like she got like pretty offended and like defensive, and she's like, well, you should check the website next time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't even like know you guys had a website. Like, it's a very small place, but that's fine. I just like didn't even reply back. I don't know. Is it my bad here? I don't know. Maybe I just shouldn't have even said anything at all, because now I feel like she's annoyed with me. But, like, I don't know, when you're paying that much, don't you think you have a right to say something? I've just been like a little mouse my whole life, and like just been like, okay, no big deal. I'm going with powder now. This is just this is not Drugstore. This is just a random one I had from Lise Wattier that was like, it's ancient. I'm just kind of finishing it off. It's literally in a bag, like there's nothing left. But yeah, so I don't know. Kind of an awkward situation. Like, don't get me wrong, I do feel like she did a great job, and I told her that. And all in all, like, I'm happy with it. But she did say, she's like, oh, that's my mistake. Okay. I never said it. She said it. And I just said, oh, okay, like, yeah, I don't know. I just assumed you. I think I said, like, I just assumed, like, it was maybe written down or something. Sorry, like, maybe I should have mentioned it, and maybe I should have. It could be my fault. I don't know. You tell me. If you're a hairdresser, tell me what you think. Like, I really wasn't trying to be, like, a butt. I was just like, oh, okay, what? Anyway, no big deal. I still like her. I hope she's not mad at me. But, you know, stuff happens, I guess. Okay, so for brows, I don't have a brow gel that I love from the drugstore. I'm just brushing them right now. I think I'm going to just use, so pencils vary. This is the Maybelline Brow Express. I really like this one. I love the NYX, oh my god, what is it called? It's just the skinny brow pencil. These are super comparable to the Anastasia ones. I never continued to buy the Anastasia ones because I just think, like, these are just as creamy and just as nice, and I just never really needed them. So, and the CoverGirl one is really, really good too. I had actually went in to buy that one, but they were out of it, so I just decided to go with this one. So what I generally do is I would just go on the bottom and kind of like outline the shape of my brow. And I've never really done great brows. Like, I've looked at my brow progression through the years and I'm just like, am I even getting better at this? I can do other people's brows good. Like, when I used to do makeup, I was like pretty decent at doing other people's brows. I just like can't seem to get mine right. And I did want to buy a lighter shade of this, but I think this was the lightest one that they had at the time. So I just like to go in. I've kind of changed the way I'm doing my brows lately. I like to fill it in more with the pencil now and then go in with the gel and then add in my NYX Lift and Snatch. And I have used the Glossier one, I've used the Lift and Snatch, and I really like both. So I do find this one definitely lasts longer, and I have the shade Blonde. So I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Usually I'll just fill in the front part with the pen, but yeah. Anyway, let's get back to Vanderpump because this is like juicy. So also Selling Sunset is back and it's kind of good too. Does anybody else watch Selling Sunset? It's kind of sad that Jason and Chrishell broke up, but he does seem kind of like a, not like a womanizer, but he likes his young models. You can just tell he's not ready to settle down. But anyway, yeah, so that last episode, like, damn, why Raquel is she like laughing in every episode? Like, it's like she doesn't feel bad at all. I'm just like, girl. Oh. If I were Ariana, I'd be like, put your boxing gloves on, girl, I'm gonna kick your ass. But not really. I've literally never gotten in a fight in my life. Maybe like a verbal fight, but you know when like like I'm bad for being able to like run my mouth, but also secretly being scared and being like, oh my god, am I gonna get my ass kicked? I remember I was at a bar one time and one of my old friends, like, we got in a fight and she started like making fun of the way I looked, and I'm like, okay, that's just like dirty, like that's low down, like people can't change their appearance. Like, I just think that is rude. And she had multiple friends there, and so did I, but they were downstairs and I was outside. Like, there was like a patio area, and yeah, she just started like mouthing off to me, and I'm like, really? Like, you got like 10 girlfriends with you and I'm by myself, like, what am I gonna do? And I think she like tried to push me, but actually her friends, I was kind of friends with her friends at the time, so I think they were kind of just like, okay, enough, like, stop. And I just remember going downstairs and I was like so fired up when I found my friend, and I was just like, I think I just started crying because, you know, when you're just like, your adrenaline's just going, and I was like, just pissed. But anyway, yeah, I can't even imagine what that situation was like. Like, I cannot wait to watch that reunion because it's gonna be crazy. It's so funny. I was looking at this. Sorry, this is the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. I got the mini, but recently I just picked up the full size because I'm like, I use it all the time. Yeah. For Drugstore, I would say this one is really good, but I need like a good hold in my brows. I feel like they kind of like go back down really easily, even though they're fine, which is weird. This has been the best one so far that I've used. This is the NYX Thick It Stick It. It does have a little bit of tint to it though. So this is in taupe. I find this one just a touch too dark. I think I would need blonde maybe in that one. But yeah, so this is what they're looking like. They're a little messy right now. And then what I'll do is just go in with my pen, the blonde pen. So I'll just kind of show you a little bit of that. I probably won't record the whole thing, but just in areas I notice there's like spots missing, I'll just kind of fill in. But yeah, this is the way I'm doing it lately because I was filling the whole thing in with the pen and I'm like, first of all, this is taking 7 hours and I feel like I was just like, I don't know, they looked like a little bit too harsh. I feel like I like the way they look better going in with the pencil first and then going in with the pen. See what I mean? Like it just looks a little more natural. So I'm going to finish my brows and I'll come back. Okay, so they always look a little harsh when I come back and I don't have my eyes done yet, so just know they're gonna look a little better. But yeah, so that's what they look like. I wasn't sure which eyeshadow to use because there's so many good ones these days from the drugstore. And even I'm considering like Sephora collection drugstore-ish as well because they have drugstore prices. This one was one of my faves from Sephora collection. This is the color shifter and I can't remember the shade of it. Oh, Infinite Nude. So that one is amazing. I've used it already though, so maybe I'm not going to use it again. The Milani Gilded Mini. This one is so good too. Should I use this one? Or we have the Always Naked. I ordered this off Amazon. It was literally, I'm shocked how much it was in Canada. $8. I think it's maybe even less. I think I'm going to do this one. Just because, you know, I haven't used it yet on camera. So I first ordered it and I think it was this shade was smashed to smithereens. So I'm like, should I say something? See what I mean? I wasn't going to say anything, but then I did. And then they sent me a new one and I cleaned up the other one and I gave it to my mom and she likes it. So easy peasy. So I'm going to use this. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know what kind of look to do. I'll just do one eye and then I'll do the other eye off camera, but yeah, I've been really liking this. This is Sephora collection brush number 27. And it's the Pro Crease. This is what it looks like. So, should we do a cool tone look today? Let's maybe go in with, well, I'll start with, I think probably this one. I saw Taylor Wynn use this. Like, I definitely did not need this in any way. But when I saw the look she did with it, she used Charlotte Tilbury Dream Pop on the lids and, or on her cheeks. And I have it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to do this whole look. She was like, this is kind of like a bridal look. Bridal looking look. And I was like, I'm here for it and I would wear that. So yeah, so I think I'll just pull like a tiny bit of warmth into it. So maybe I'll mix like these two. It is pretty powdery, like the matte colors are pretty powdery, but they have really good payoff, so who cares, right? So I'll go back in with this shade. And then I think I'll take a smaller brush. Don't really have one here. Oh yeah, take this one. This is a Sydney Grace brush. I can't remember. It doesn't have a number or anything on it. So sorry, just looks like this. Kind of looks like a little pencil brush. And I think I'll go in with maybe this shade. And then I'll probably go in with that one after. So I like to just kind of define the crease a little. I realize how close I've been getting to the camera, and I'm like, that is not my best angle. Because that one's just a little bit darker, and then I'll maybe go in with this one too. So this and this. Ooh, yeah, I like that. It's time to shave my face again. Does anyone else feel like they have to do it literally all the time? Like, what the heck? Okay, so I'm gonna do it like that. I'm gonna take, I just bought this. I bought the wrong one. This is the Infallible liquid liner. I bought the shade brown, but I was supposed to get the grip one because that one has more of like a reddish undertone. This one just looks pretty much black, but I have it, so I'm probably not going to return it now. Always dropping stuff. So I don't know how good I'm going to be at doing this, but we'll see. I'm pretty far away. I haven't done a winged liner look in a really long time that wasn't a pencil. I always do pencil and then wing it out with shadow. But I have been this weekend. I bought the fly liner. Oh, no, no. Oh, no. I screwed up. Bought the fly liner from Fenty. And I love the shade of that one. It's like reddish. Like a nice warm brown. And it's really nice. This one is going on well. I'm just too far from my mirror, and so I'm screwing up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, oh God. So I'm gonna go in with some shadow over top of that just to kind of blend it out and just make it look a little bit prettier. And I'll be back, and then I'll do the under eye. Okay, so I did just blend that liner out with these two shades here, and then I just took this whitish shade and just tapped it on the center of my lid, just very gently. And now I think I'll go under my eye with that same pencil brush from, I want to say Sonia Kashuk, Sydney Grace, and maybe I'll go in with maybe these two. Looking to do like a cooler toned look today. Can you see the powder kind of flying in the air when I'm doing this? So it is powdery, so just make sure to kind of flick it off of there. It is very pretty though. I really like the Milani one too. I've just really been trying to like use different things because I have to use my shadows like but when I really love a look, then I get like obsessed with it, and then I'll just like use the same palette over and over again. Like I've been using my Makeup by Mario palette like crazy, and I have to remember to also use all of my nice drugstore ones. But this is a really good alternative to the Makeup by Mario because they do have like, you know, the warm tones, the cool tones, except there are no shimmers. So maybe that would even be better for somebody who wanted a little bit of shimmer, but they didn't get any from that palette. So I'm just gonna go in with that blending brush, just blend that. How are we looking? So I think I'm gonna go in that inner corner just with that sorry. Let's take this brush. This is just an Urban Decay super old brush. This was from a palette, I think. Or did I buy this separate? I can't remember. It's just this shade here. I'm just going there. Whoa. It's lighter than I thought it was. Just blend that out a tiny bit. So I'm gonna go do my other eye and then I'll come back to mascara. I kind of wish I had left it with no sparkle because I like the look of this so much better, but live and learn. This actually reminds me of the look I did with the Chanel palette. I think it was just like all Chanel products that I used, or mostly all Chanel. But they really are just almost as good as high-end. Like they really are good. Just a bit powdery, that's my only complaint. The Chanel quad that I have, I mean, the price difference is like astronomical. So if you just have to deal with a tiny bit of powder, then who cares? But yeah, very similar look. Even similar to the Smoky Quartz from Tom Ford. I don't think I'll be buying another Tom Ford quad unless something like really stands out to me. But the last ones have been pretty, but not, I don't know, nothing that I like absolutely have to have. I just wanted to let you know too, I put this in the waterline. NYX has amazing eyeliners. This is Sephora collection. This is the 12-hour colorful pencil in the shade Tiramisu. L'Oreal has great pencils. CoverGirl Ink It. Where is it? This one here, it's like the blackest black you're gonna find at the drugstore, even maybe high-end. It's so creamy and it stays, like it really stays in the waterline. I have a hard time finding something that'll stay all day, but that one is really good. So I was trying to decide what mascara I wanted to use, but I think it's just a given because I talk about it in every single video. I'll go back in with that sparkle against my will because look, oh, it just looks so much better without. Why did I do that? I just wanted to show you because I never use sparkle. I always do matte looks. So I want to just add something kind of fun in there. Just deepen that liner again. And then go in that inner corner. I know I said it wasn't going to be a long video, but here we are again. I just think there's so much to talk about drugstore makeup. Some of it is just so good that you're really just missing out if you don't try it. I know so many people are like, I'm never gonna use drugstore, like, and that's fine. If you're just the kind of person who's just like stuck on high end, that's totally fine. Because a lot of the stuff I use is high end too. But honestly, this foundation I use over my high end foundations. There's just something about it that I just love. I don't know, the way it just like lays on the skin, kind of blurs my pores. Like not completely. Again, nothing is gonna fully blur them. It's not gonna make them disappear, but it's just good. It's just so good. So I'm gonna go in with CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara. This is my favorite. I have the infamous telescopic lift. It's making a weird noise. Maybe I'll add some of that, but I also have this one from Sephora collection, which is the Size Up Mascara. That one kind of grew on me too. probably not going to do the full process on camera because, again, it just takes so long. It take a while to do my lashes. But this one, the only thing I noticed with this one is because it's a little bit of a drier formula, I do find it does dry up quicker than most mascaras. So that's the only thing, but I mean, it's like $10, so it's pretty decent. Oh my god, how did I forget this? Essence mascaras. Essence has some amazing mascaras. The last one I got I wasn't like a total fan of, but I used to use that pink one. Oh, what is it called? It's like a super voluminous one. I used to use that all the time until I switched to this one. But again, I have high-end mascaras and I'll always go back to this one. So what does that tell ya? That it's good. So this one's getting a little bit dry, but if you like, oh, I got a loose one there. If you like a good volume and lengthening, this one will do the job every time. And I feel like as you can see, I've dipped in a couple times and reapplied, and I feel like with this one you can apply over it so many times before it starts getting clumpy. I do like to go over my lashes quite a few times just because I like to kind of like finagle them, but I mean, it's just so good. So I'm gonna finish up. I might add a tiny bit of this, but I feel like I don't even need it. So I'll be back. Okay, eyes are done. I don't know why I didn't use the NYX glitter glue, but whatever. Lip products. NYX by far has my favorite lip pencils at the drugstore. These remind me so much of the MAC ones. Like, it's just so good. This is nude beige. So I think I've used this one quite a bit. In my videos, I mean. It does feel like a tiny bit dry, but I kind of like that because I know that it's gonna stay. But yeah, half the time I'll just pick this over. Like, I love the Makeup by Mario pencil. Like, I love it. I love the MAC pencils. But a lot of times I'll go for this one. And the shade is just perfect. Look at that. So good. I have a hard time picking out a lipstick because this one doesn't exist anymore. You can get it on Amazon, and I screwed it up. Look, I squished it. I'm like, no, this is all I have left. So this is Hot Sand. Maybelline just does lips so well. I also have I have this guy. I don't love that one, but I love the pencils. It's the twist up ones. I have the shade Lead the Way, which I love. I don't know where it is right now. I think it's in my other bag. These are really good too. The NYX lip lingeries. I have the shade Corset and Lace Detail. What else? This one is really, really good. This is Dulce de Leche from CoverGirl. It's just so good. So I think, and then of course, I talk about this one all the time, the Sephora collection in Love Love. I've been using that one a ton though, so I'll just use a drugstore one this time. Oh, I don't know how this is gonna go. Okay. My lips are really dry right now, so this is not really doing them any favors, but this one's a little bit creamier. Okay, so if you're like, okay, calm down, those are concealer lips, just go in with the pencil a little bit more. Just define them a little bit more. Cute. Maybe not to some people, but this is kind of my style. So that's what the lips look like. Just for, you know, video's sake, I will add a gloss. Oh, this one's really good too. The Rimmel ones. This is the shade number 40. I think this is the Kate one. Lasting Finish Lipstick. Number 40. Anyways. So for gloss, I'm going to go in with this. This is the Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss from CoverGirl. And this is the shade Coconut's About You. I've used this one already in video. It smells so good. Here we go. Add a little bit of moisture to those dry lips. And I always just like wipe it off on my hand because I don't like putting color in my lip gloss. Somebody else like that? Just me? So there we go. It's a little sticky right now because I put quite a bit. But it's so hard to find a good nude at the drugstore, like so hard. Maybelline Nude Lust is also a really, really good one, but that is my full face. Sorry, again, I'm messing with my hair. Sorry. So that is my full face of drugstore makeup that I love. Oh, I forgot something. And I knew I was going to forget, so I'm glad I turned to the side. This blush is also really, really good. This is the LA Girl blush. Oh, why didn't I use this bronzer? I love this one too. Back to the Beach. Ooh. So good. So good. But I'm looking for my highlight. Oh, where is it? I just cleaned out this drawer too. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh, it's a Wet n Wild one. Oh, it's so good. Oh, no. Thought I found it. Okay, well, let's go with an e.l.f. one because I can't find it. It's a Wet n Wild one, and it used to be called something Sex, but they changed the name. Let's see which e.l.f. one I want to use. Oh, it's so good. I'm like really actually annoyed that I can't find it. I'm gonna find it. Found it. It's this one here. It used to be called, so I have the old version. It used to be called After Sex Glow. Yeah, it broke. But now it's called something else, but it looks like this. There's like a peachy highlight in there, which is also beautiful. I've actually never used that one, but I always use this gold one. So pretty. So we'll go in with that. Like, look at how pigmented. And if you don't like it to be that glowy, just take your little powder puff and just kind of buff it away. But yeah, this one, so good. If you don't have it, you should try it. They're so cheap. Okay. So we're all set. I also forgot to mention these blushes are amazing. If you live in Canada, I don't think you can get these in the US. I don't think. I don't know for sure. These are the Annabelle Perfect blushes. These are so good. This one I was obsessed with, as you can see. It's just like the perfect nudie pinky brown. This is called Pronto, and this one is called Rosewood. Of course, they always call them Rosewood, but yeah, look how pretty that is. So yeah, this is my full face. I really hope you enjoyed. And see, I do find that primer, I still get a little shiny with the primer, but I mean, it's drugstore and it's like $10, so maybe a little bit more. Those are newer, but yeah, this is my full face. I hope you enjoyed, and I love how it turned out. So please subscribe if you wanted to see some more of my videos. Sorry, I just scratched myself here. If you want to see some more videos, I don't know what my next one will be. Maybe it'll be like a couple new things from Sephora. I'm hoping to get the Gucci blush, one of the newer colors, but we'll see. I don't know yet. But yeah, please subscribe and like, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Love ya. Bye.